one in. And hey guys, how are you? We're on with Slotcar dude from Austria. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna
Thank you for
watch
having me.
the we're gonna watch the end of MP's stream here live, and see how it goes. And then we're gonna get into our discussion. So let's let MP take over for a bit. It's cool, right? One slot car guy watching another slot guy guys.
Exactly.
Here's the fingers in the house, slot journals in the
He's
house.
all he's always there. The fingers is everywhere on every live screen.
Yeah.
So afterwards, when we go live, you will be able to read the comments, right?
You should be able to see the comments as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are live right now, so you should be able to see comments.
Okay.
Yeah, we're live right
No.
now. We're watching MP
Well,
live.
okay.
Yeah, so you can see, like, I'm bringing Slot Car Journal. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Massimo's live on his channel. We're just waiting for him to wrap up, and then we're gonna take over and do our stuff. Hey Dan.
Howdy.
Yeah, let's see what MP's talking about. He's rocking the hockey jersey I made for him.
Okay. He's into hockey as well?
It's funny because what happened was he came over to my shop. I have my own print shop, and we've launched Conquest Lair. It's a way for a group of us YouTubers got together. We launched this shop where we produce merchandise, but every time somebody buys something, a little bit goes to all the YouTubers, right?
Okay.
It's
Good
something
thing.
that I wanted to do for the community. So he came over uh, and we came over and he came to my print shop and we're sitting down and he's like, I want to do something different. He said, I don't want to build the same shirt like everyone else. So I'm like, okay, well, let me see what I got. And I had a hockey jersey. So I pulled it out. It's like, let's make a hockey jersey for you. So it's a custom one of one hockey jersey I made for him on the spot.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, MP doesn't. I don't know if he realizes we're watching him live too.
Okay. I can't hear him, so but
You
never
can't
mind.
hear him?
Nope.
Oh no. Oh, you know what? You have to. You can. Oh yeah, that's not cool.
Don't
Can the
worry.
guys in the chat hear him? Can the guys in the chat hear him? They should be able to. Slot Journal wants to get Massimo Shadow too.
Although he's already got one.
Yeah.
Lucky guy. We can get it in. We can get it in Europe.
No.
Well, you have to order it in the States, pay the postal
Yeah.
fee, pay customs. So it's yeah,
It gets
it
pricey,
add
right?
it adds up. It adds up. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good lip reader though.
Yeah. Let me see. Forecaster.
Hey there.
So let's see. We got Slot Journal, the fingers. Hey, here's George. Area
Hi,
51 in the
George.
house. If you put on, I think, MP on YouTube right now, you can hear him. I
Okay,
don't know. I don't know why it's not coming through on my computer. Normally it does.
don't worry.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a wave of visitors. So that's why we're just watching the end of MP's live stream. I'm so sorry we double booked this, but we gotta support each other. So I'm just gonna let him finish off, and then we'll get into our discussion. And yeah, sorry guys. Well, you made some 124 F1 cars, Nicholas, and we're gonna get into that
That's right.
because MP's talking about 124 F1 cars.
Okay. Well, yes, it's in Germany you can buy chassis for that,
Yeah,
ready-built chassis. Yeah,
yeah,
where you just put on the kit
right.
that you build, and yeah, yeah, I've got a shorts on my channel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. You
Yeah,
painted yours one of them Benetton colors, right?
that's right. That's the one I
Yeah,
built, the Ferrari one. There are two cars. The Ferrari one I bought finished the body,
yeah.
but the Benetton was painted by me. Yeah,
Nice, nice, very nice.
yeah, yeah.
So I know in RC you have to paint reverse because we paint on the inside of the body, right? Um,
Lexan. So
but
yep,
yeah, but in stock cars you just paint it direct, right? So you paint, yeah,
exactly, exactly.
much
Yeah,
easier.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Well,
No.
coming from reverse painting, it's the worst thing you can do. I remember the
Yeah.
first time I painted my first RC body, and I messed up completely. I put the base layer down, and it was the complete opposite color it was supposed to be. And so it's crazy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's easier when you just paint with one color, so to say. But as soon as you go into two or three or four colors, that's gonna be the fun part
Yeah,
because then, yeah, it's lessons you learn. So it's
yeah,
experience you gain, and I just, but I still like it. A lot
yeah.
of swearing if it doesn't work.
Never found RC painting difficult, or never found stock car painting difficult, George.
Okay.
Let's see. He says I need a special paint.
What kind of paint?
Yeah, what kind of paint, George? Don't leave us, and don't say alien tech because I'm gonna come over there to North Carolina and take all your alien tech away. Hey, George, did you get your package from me? Hopefully you did.
I used to do to spray with cans.
Yeah. So I use Tamiya paint. Like if I was to do slot cars too, I would use Tamiya.
I changed to airbrush now. I have to admit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he loves
Lexan.
to paint Lexan. Okay.
Okay. All right. MP's about to do his draw. All right.
This is it.
Who is it? Antoine. Antoine. All
Okay.
right.
Lucky winner.
Lucky winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. There we go. All right. All right. So let's get into our discussion.
Sure.
And let me switch this off. All right. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the live stream. We're with Nicholas, Slotcar dude, straight out of Austria. Thank you so much for making the time today. We've been discussing about putting this together for a while, and we finally picked a date. Unfortunately, we had a little conflict, but we got through it. But we're here. So, Nicholas, thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh
Yes,
no,
it took a little till we found the time.
yes, it did,
Uh,
but I'm glad
but
we did it.
oh yes, so am
Yeah.
I, very much.
Yeah, so Nicholas, I'm gonna put a little bit of background music. I do like background music to the live stream, so give me 1 second here, and we get that started. And there we go. There you
Hey,
go.
the fingers.
Yeah, hey the fingers. Area 51's in the house. That's Slotcar guy. Travis is in the house. Welcome, Travis.
Hi there,
I
mate.
did send
Servus.
Travis the link, so if he wants to jump on the live, he's well equipped to do that. And we have Dan Wiley in the house. Hi Dan, how you doing? Hope everything's good. Yeah, and we'll see. I guess the rest of the people will jump in as they filter in from MP's stream. We'll give them a couple of seconds, and then we'll get started here. But in the meantime, so Nicholas, how's it been going? I saw your last video. I'm really intrigued by those F1 chassis, so let's talk about that first. Let's start there.
Okay. Um, well, there is a class in Germany called Class One. They call it, not Formula One, Class One, and they've got ready-built chassis, and even Scale Auto has
Yeah,
got a chassis in 1 to 24 where you can put a Formula One kit body on. They also produce fiberglass bodies that they use for weight reasons. We in our club said we're gonna do it because we want to have a no limit class. So, like in Formula One, everything's allowed.
yeah,
You, you can just do whatever you want. No restrictions on the motor.
okay,
All that needs to be is foam tires and rear width. That's it.
right.
Go for it. Build it.
Nice. But the chassis is something you can just pick up off, like it's a
Exactly.
actual ready-made product for F1. So I know MP is working on a F1 project. I don't know. I don't remember if it's 124, 125, but he was looking at a chassis. So maybe this is a good thing for him to know.
Yes, and I'm glad to help him on if he wants to, or post some links where
Yeah.
to find some basic stuff.
Yeah, a lot of guys are joining in from MP's live stream. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're here with Slotcar Dude. Sorry for the conflict this morning, but we're here. We're getting started now. MP's in the house too. Thank you so much. And congratulations to the winner, Antoine, I believe. Oh, no, Antoine. Yeah, Antoine is the winner from MP's Shadow giveaway. So, let's go back in time a bit. Let's reverse. Let's go back to the beginning, Nicholas. Tell me how you got into slot cars, when you got into slot
Jesus.
cars. Yeah, you knew this was coming though.
Of course, of course. Um, 7 years old, Christmas Day, I'm wrapping a package I've never seen before, which was a Carrera Universal, it was called. I don't know whether
Okay.
you're aware of that. That was one of the very first Carreras
Oh,
with those old Formula One cars out of the 60s. And
yeah.
if you pressed acceleration too much, you could actually turn the car 180 degrees and drive backwards. So the slot was completely different. The guide, sorry, was completely different.
Okay.
Um, had that for a few years. It disappeared. I don't know where to. And then, like 25 years ago, a colleague at work said, "Hey, I'm going to slot evening. You want to join in?" And I was going like, "What? Still there? Can you still do that? I'll join in." And I went there, and it was a 4-lane Carrera track. The guys were just helpful, crazy, uh, and this was it.
Okay.
Addicted till that day, and went on with my slot journey, meaning went into it very heavily, racing a lot,
Yeah.
was invited to 24-hour races a lot in those days.
Yeah.
So,
That's something we
yes.
don't have a lot of, at least not that I'm aware of in North America. But I know in Europe there's a lot of 24-hour endurance races, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay, so
So if
continue.
for,
Let me know.
so so for example, if you so if you look onto my channel, there's a very far down. There's a video out of 2004, one of the very first digital systems available. It was closely before Carrera came out. It was a French system called Davik because the inventors were David and Victor, so they said Davik. Uh, and we started to have a European championship with this digital system all over Europe. Traveled thousands of miles
Okay.
just to participate, and finally, I and my club organized 3 of those European races here in the area, because one of the tracks was 70 meters of track length,
Wow.
and you needed a massive hall for that
Right.
to set it up, and an elevated parts where the drivers were standing, because otherwise you couldn't see the whole track.
Yeah.
And the system was able to take 15 racers at the same time, 15 cars at the same time. So that was a lot of fun, driving on 70 meters, 24 hours, massive kick.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you a little bit about now. You know that was the original digital system, and now I know endurance races today they run the oxygen system. I haven't played on the oxygen system much. Have you?
No, the funny
Okay.
thing is, after this experience with the European Championship with a 32, that was all on 32 cars, and with the system, my club always was analog, and we stayed analog. We
Okay.
like to go to tracks that race or drive digital, um, but personal favor of the guys I race with is analog.
Okay.
So, sorry, can't tell you or help you on that one.
No, no, it's fine. Um, so I know that we were talking about the state of Slotcar in Europe, right? And that's why we got into our conversation, and
Right.
we talked about like at that time I was the idea of the global racing league was just a figment of my imagination. It hadn't even been voiced. Today it's becoming reality in a way, right? But
Right.
we talked about the state of slot car racing in Europe, and you said that it's dying. That was
Yes.
your general consensus. So talk about that a bit.
It gets very hard, or it is very hard to attract new guys to this hobby, no matter what age. The youngsters, this is our experience. Sorry, it doesn't mean it's
Yeah, yeah,
all over the same. Our experience is they rather stay home, play video games. Um, the older guys, like my age, I would say 50 plus, all have the same experience, had it once under their Christmas tree. If you just tell them, it's like, still there?
yeah.
I'm coming. Um, but they don't want to get into like preparing cars a little bit. So my club has changed the approach completely, which means we're doing a lot of IROC races, meaning 4-lane track, 4 cars, stay in lane. Each driver has to drive each car, and you get a final result.
Right. And how's
So you
that?
don't. Sorry. Yeah.
So let's talk about growth, right? So
Yeah.
a really weird thing happened yesterday. I was on a Zoom call when I started YouTube, I became part of a creator community. So they don't know about slot cars at all. They're just a creator community where they challenge you as a YouTuber to do things with your content. So I was on that Zoom call, and obviously they were there at the beginning of my journey when I did my 10-day challenge, and they were like, Raul, your channel is growing. Actually, slot cars are growing. We're seeing more of that in our feeds, right? Really weird because this was from the creator community. It wasn't slot car people. These were different people. They were like, it seems like the slot car world is growing on YouTube, right? And
Exactly.
so that's my thing. Like, if it's growing on YouTube and there's more content being created, there's more chances for the younger generation to find out about it and maybe get involved. Is that what you feel as well? And I
100%, I agree 100%. That's one of the or this is the main reason why I jumped on YouTube. The
yeah,
main reason is Mr. Travis visiting me on his last holiday before he moved to Austria, saying, "Hey, you come across quite naturally. Why don't you do it yourself? Plus, you can create interest and gain more people and attract more people to the hobby." And after he said that, I started to do the first videos, and we talked about it in our club. And yes, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get people back to a track, hold a controller, have fun with a car on the track and with the guys beside you.
yeah.
That's my
So
main goal.
talk about the youngsters coming in now. Do you have new young people coming in? What are you feeling? Like, what's the energy like now?
I would say slowly, yes.
Yeah,
We gained one or two people through my channel actually to come to a track, uh, take a look, talk to people. And yes, there are a few coming back, but the figures the we had when I started, meaning the participants, the number of participants was like double to now.
right.
So people, work gets harder. They start to have families, so they don't have enough time for the hobby anymore. The usual life things come along. So, yes, we're seeing little improvements in our area.
Yeah. Travis says, I'm creating YouTube
Travis,
monsters here.
Travis, you're not far away from me. Don't forget that.
um, yeah, so like Daty O'Connor says, anytime someone comes around and sees my layout, they're amazed and almost never knew it was a possibility to own something like that. And I think that's the general consensus when people actually see it. When they see a track, they're like, oh, this exists. It's like, oh, this underworld, it's like the new underworld thing. But it's interesting because, like, even for myself, starting a commercial track, I've now had my commercial track for about 3 weeks, and it's in an RC shop. So it's where people go and play with RCs. So I was at the track not this Friday but last Friday, and they were doing drift. So drifting 1/10 scale, and there was about I'd say about 15 drivers that came in to drift, right? They all looked at the Slotcar track. Some of them tried their hand at it. They asked questions as to, why is it a thumb controller? Why can't it be a trigger? And I say, oh, you can get that. And then they walked away and they started to drift. And I was like, how can I capture them? Like, how can I get them more involved? I could see there was interest, but there was that skepticism, this is not for me, or maybe it was because there's nobody else was, trying to do it as well. And then I said to myself, well, I'm a sham too, because here I am sitting in front of them and I'm not involved in their hobby. So why should they get involved in my hobby, right? Like, there is that difference, right? Like, if you want to build community, you have to be able to talk to each other in the same language, right? So
Right.
I was like, okay. So the next day, I went over to the RC shop, and I used to race RCs before. So I said, you know what? I'll just buy a basic standard chassis, basic stuff, and get started. And so I'm there, and I got the pile of stuff on the table, ready to go. And the guys who were at the club the day before, some of them were behind me, and when they saw me purchase it, they came over and said, "Oh, so you're coming in to do RC with us?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm gonna jump in." "Oh, we've been waiting to do slot cars, but we're not gonna jump in until you jumped in." So it's in a weird way, it was that whole thing. They were waiting to see, will I immerse in their culture before they immerse in my culture. So it's strange, right? And I
But
almost
it's
want.
right.
Sorry,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, no, no. You go ahead. Sorry.
But it's a strange thing. But I think they want you to belong as well. They need you to buy in, just like we want them to buy in, right?
Yeah.
And then when you think about it, and you say that the youth today, they don't really pick up stock cars, it's because they're not immersed into that culture, and we are not immersed in their culture. So how can we relate to each other, right?
But it's so funny that you mentioned it. We didn't talk about this before, okay?
Yeah,
We were just discussing on doing a swap meet here in our area. We don't know whether we can attract more people because there are a few people that have their small track at home for the kids, set it up twice a year, like Christmas and birthday parties, and that's about it. And then wrap it away, and are not aware that there are tracks out there, 4 lane, 30 meters, permanent setup where they can go to.
yeah,
So we said, let's do a swap meet. Then the guy said, well, we can exchange parts anyway because there's no one else than us just sitting around here in our club room.
yeah,
But we said, no, why don't we go out, look for RC clubs, ask them if they would like to join in for a combined swap meet, which means it's not only 2 or 3 people standing there exchanging parts or exchanging cars, but maybe RC guys, and then getting them into what are those parts on that table over there, or what are those cars on there? What do you do? Where do you race? And try to get people interested.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
really funny that you mentioned that.
yeah. You know, if you want, I think the hobby can grow if we assimilate with other hobbies. We For the longest time I felt like, and I talked about this, about, you asked me if I race scale auto 124,
Right,
right?
right.
It was a very and the truth is, there is a club, well, it's Ernie's club, the wood track, races 124th scale auto. The problem is, it feels very hard to break in. You can build a car, you can come to the track, you can put a car on the track, but if you're like 2 seconds slower than everyone around you, and as much as I just feel intimidated, and I still do till today. It's different on the plastic track downstairs because I run 132nd. I know 132nd. It's easier for me to ask for help and break in.
Yeah.
But I feel with the 124, I feel very out of my depth. Right now, recently I started racing 124 digital with a bunch of guys who are a bit more laid back, and it's a lot of fun. So there's a different experience. Same thing, 124th, but a very different experience. So what it comes down to is assimilation into the culture, right? If you cannot relate to the culture, it's very, very hard, very, very hard for you to pick up a controller and run, no matter how enthusiastic you may be, right? So Travis
Yeah.
says, go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. Um, the club needs to welcome newbies,
Yeah,
meaning tell them the secrets, tell them how they can gain speed, tell them how they can gain confidence, tell them what to avoid so they don't drop out, share parts, share cars, let them test a good car
yeah,
that is maybe 2 seconds faster than your first build. We all started. We all needed someone to ask. We all gained experience. We all were looking for the one guy that would tell me, use that screw because that's a better one and you'll be better off.
Yeah.
If you don't get that, you won't keep, or you can't get people to come back.
Yeah, so here's a good thing from a curvy road Slotcar. I've been able to get about 5 young guys under 25 to get involved with me at my track. One made a comment he didn't know what slot cars were. Was kind of a shock to me. Actually, I'm not shocked at all, cause slot cars is not something people know. Even I have to explain what slot cars are. Many people know RCs, and they'll be like, "Is that like RC cars?" And similar but different. We still got a controller, but the cars are in a slot, so they're like, "Oh, it's easier then." It automatically becomes easier because you don't have to control it. But it's hard to explain slot car racing to a very fresh person. It's not as easy as it sounds. I do believe that. Right? What do you think?
Yeah, yes, you're right. But I just read Travis' comment that the old culture is still out there that you just described, Raul.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And if the clubs don't change, they will die. Very simple. If they don't change their mindset, saying we need to get people to a track so that they can have fun. The fun factor is the factor that needs to be first, and then you can teach them how to race or what racing is about. Some may like it, some might not, but still fun must be the number one part.
Yeah.
So, and if
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
like,
get this point across, you lose the guys.
yeah, and that's what I was talking about when I talked about recently what has happened with me and turning the corner, turning the page, right? I think it's the same thing. Like, I'll take my daughter's experience, right? Obviously, I have my own slot car track in the basement. My daughter is 13, so she's into all the, because I have all my friends come over and they're into Gundam and anime, and she's more in depth into that culture than I am. I'm not an anime
Okay.
person. I'm not a Gundam person, but she builds Gundam. She's really into that. She's into art, but she races slot cars with me, and she'll do it with me because she wants to help me shoot my videos. So she'll run the car while I shoot my videos. Right? It's a way to help me. I took her to Scale Racing Center at Ernie's, and the first thing I said was pick out a car, because I'm like, you need to own your own car if you really want to become assimilated into this hobby. I said it's a small investment, but you need to own something, and when you own your car, then it's your car. You're in charge of it. You have to look after it. You have to build it. You have to, and it was that process of ownership and starting to understand her car that got her more and more involved in becoming more of a slot car racer, right? Now, she didn't drive any of my cars because I wanted to learn on her cars. She can if she wants. It's not like no, but I say every time we race your own car, learn your car. It helps you get motor skills. It helps you to understand your car. And then let me know what you're feeling. If the car is moving out too much, or, we'll look at how we fix it. And I teach her that way, right? I think if people did a little bit more of that, right, the younger generation will get more involved. Because one thing I'll say is slot cars is a great way to learn, to talk about STEM learning, the scientific technology learning system. But slot cars,
Yep.
in a way, is a way of learning STEM, right? It's a way to take something that is very foreign, very mechanical, and learn about it and get better at, creating an environment for it to flourish. It's the same situation, I feel. So by working with my daughter with her slot cars, I've kind of taught her the motor skills, and later on in life she'll remember it. And I always say, she's not gonna be in slot cars forever. None of us here can say we were in slot cars from day one. From 8 years old to now, we haven't been in slot cars. We are all going to leave, and we're going to come back. What I said was, if you're not introduced at a young age, it will be hard for you to come back. But if you were introduced at a young age, You'll remember. And then it's your job when you reach the 40s and the 50s, just like we do, to introduce your next generation. I think that's the key to slot cars. It's not the club racing. That's all like deep. Like you go deep. Like those are deep enthusiasts. But the basic slot car enthusiasts, the guys who just love cars for what they are and slot cars, need to do that to the younger generation. Right?
Absolutely right. You know who the fastest guy in our club is? How old he is?
I have no idea.
72.
Wow.
And he's kicking all our asses. Sorry to say, guys, but he's still out there. And during Corona, I think he lived beside the track.
Yeah.
And he's unbelievable. He's still kicking everyone.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
slot
if
car.
you want to know if you know how fast your car is, you just hand it over to him. He'll
Yeah.
give you a time you'll never reach, and then you know it's fast.
Yeah. Well, that's just experience. Like it's like
Yes.
I dabbled in real car racing, right?
Mhm.
And you may think you're as fast as you possibly can, and then you give it to a pro driver, and he shows you driving with two fingers how much faster he is. It's
Exactly.
the reality check is they're pros, and then there's you, and you need to
Exactly.
understand that if you want to become a pro level racer, you want to become a pro level or world championship slot car racer, it's time and effort and dedication, and that's a different ball game altogether. It's same as wargaming, same as any other hobby. It's same as anything in life. You want to become a CEO of a company, you don't just walk in and become a CEO. You work at it, right? So everything is the dedication of time, right? But what we're talking
Right.
about is enjoying your pastime and having fun in doing it in an interactive way. I think that's what Slot Cars does. It makes it interactive. And right now, the YouTube community is drawing people together, in my opinion. And it's allowing the up and coming slot car enthusiasts to get involved in a very basic way, right? And I think that's what me, Travis, MP, Slot Avengers, whatever we are, we're all trying to do that very simple thing. Create more content on YouTube, whether you're starting, whoever you are, whatever part of the journey you are, come up, talk to us, get involved.
Show us. Yeah.
Show us. Because I believe that the more people that tell their story, the more people that share, the more real it will become. And no more fantasy. It becomes part of reality. And then it becomes something that you want to experience. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I fully agree. 100% agreed. Yes.
Yeah. So what? Here we go. It's like Slotcar Wildman saying like he wants to get his two boys into slot cars, but he's having a hard time. He's bought the slot cars, but I also think that just buying slot cars doesn't mean anything. You have to be involved with them. So you have to create events around it. You have to create fun things to go around it. Like it just can't be like getting on the track and just running some laps. That doesn't excite anyone. But you can make it fun. You can make it like okay, create some sort of storyline. I mean, we do it with the Lego City. Like we build a Lego City, right? And Lego is Lego. It's a bunch of bricks. But until you put the people in there, the little minifigures, and you create a story, it doesn't become fun. But when you create a story, then the imagination takes over. And kids can run wild with imagination. It's amazing if you allow them to. So I think the same thing with the slot car world. And that's why I'm building Crash City in the Lego City. Is I want them to build their own slot cars and crash them. And it's fun. For them, it's fun. For us, we cringe. Who wants to see slot cars hammer themselves into each other? But I think that's a way of introducing fun. So everyone start a channel tomorrow. Oh no!
You're right, Travis. And I just saw that I've got a twin in Oregon. Is that right?
You do? What is that?
Well, bacon. FSR.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, there you go.
Okay, didn't know that. Twin brother.
Yeah, that's
I have to
good.
talk to my parents, I guess, or at least one part of them. No, we'll leave that.
Yeah. So, Kirby Road says, I feel that's where digital racing comes into play. Digital racing is a great simulation piece. However, the cost of entry is high. That's been my little bit of a struggle right now. It's like even so, setting up the Global Racing League, which is, um, the concept is let's all race each other, but do it live, right? Utilize YouTube to create a racing environment where we all build the same track based on the same parameters, and we race against each other. It's time attack, but on a global scale. That's Global Racing League, and that's what we've launched. And you're a part of it, and it's exciting because we have 12 people that are part of it right now. You only need a 7 foot by 6 foot area. We're restricting the size. We have a global inventory, so we're not bringing obscure pieces into the track. We all have a set track, a set system, and we have fun with it. And hopefully, we can see how that goes. This is going to be season 1, but that was a concept. The concept was standardization. Because I felt that the only way people can get more involved is if we standardize everything, keep the cost of entry low, and have fun with it. Can we have enough fun with it at that sort of system? Because it's nice to see big tracks. It's nice to see like big wooden tracks and swooping tracks, but in reality, most people see that and be like, I don't think I can do this, right? It's a deterrent. So I'm trying to change that kind of principle. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, so tell me what you think about the Global Racing League and why you joined.
Well, we discussed it in our club, and we don't have the space, to be honest,
Yeah,
because we've got space is one of the main problems. As if you want to start a club, where do you put the track? It's
yeah,
either in your private house, in your basement, or in your under the roof, if you can manage. Um, but living space is getting so expensive over here that there is no extra room to put a bigger track to. So that's one of the main problems. So we're very, very lucky. We found a space, and this will stay for a very, very long time. So we've got this track that Trevor's visited, the 33-meter monster, and we just added an HO track and put it up the wall
right.
um, to get more interest as well. Um, yes, I think that standardization is needed. I fully agree and support your idea on the global racing. We would have loved to jump in. We don't know where to put it at the moment. But the basic idea is just great. It's like our IROC races. You've got the same setup, you've got the same cars. Uh, just race it and have fun, and see the others do the same with the same track and the same cars on the other side of the Earth of Earth. And you can compare things. So I really, really do think this is a really great idea. And as soon as we find a shed, we'll just jump on it.
That's fine. Yeah, so now I'm going to ask you some questions. We're going to bring you back. So, where do you think you are in your slot car journey today? You
An
talked
old
to
guy
me
having
about,
an, an old guy having fun and driving toy cars on a plastic or wooden track.
yeah, but you talked to me about being very competitive with your racing, and now you've changed your mantra a bit. So let's talk about that.
Yes. Okay. I used, as I described before, I used to race 24-hour races a lot. Most of them 1 to 32, some of them 1 to 24. And I was away like half of the year, every weekend. So, like 26 weekends, I was gone for 4 days racing those races because you need a day to go there. You've got 2 days of racing, and then you need to rest and then go back on Monday. So, and I thought, well, it is fun, it is exciting, it is challenging. You get to know a lot of people all over Europe, but that's not it. So, and this is not how to attract new people to the hobby, which I think is my main goal now. I want to share the fun of this hobby, and I want to show people why I'm having fun. And maybe I can, yeah, attract one or two or three more people to the hobby, and just share the fun. Enjoy driving beautiful cars that you either built or bought
Yeah.
on a track. So yes, that changed completely. My mind changed completely, and I see my role in the club as a partly as a call it promoter. I don't know. I don't like the expression, but um, make people aware that there is something like a hobby where you drive Carrera cars, for example, um, and help new guys get into the hobby, what they need, how to improve their driving, whatever, where to get parts, share parts, um, just get them into it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yes, this has
I
changed.
don't know what the Global Racing League will be. Yeah, like I told you, it's a figment of my imagination.
Yeah,
Um, but you don't know until you try. And I'm one
yeah,
person. I must try everything that comes to my mind. Whether it was a commercial track, I found a way to put down a commercial track. Whether it's the Global Racing League, it was an idea, a fathom. We're trying to do it. The ability for me to be able to code the website, to do all the stats online, and that makes
yeah.
it easier, right? So I mean, that's why you try. You like I don't know what's gonna succeed, what's not gonna succeed, but at least we give it a shot, right? That's the way
I
I
think
look
we
at it.
just, I think we just need to gain more. How do you say? We need to make people aware that this hobby is out there, and that it's fun.
Yep.
Um, that's about it. Because as you just mentioned before, or one of the guys mentioned in the comments, if you talk about slot cars, some people will go like, "What? What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Never heard of." Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
So
So one thing I say is, and I think you resonated with this was, if you cannot communicate the fun that you're having in this in the Slotcar world, then you're not really an ambassador for it. So when you come on YouTube, come on with your own authenticity. Whether you like to
exactly.
review cars, doesn't matter if someone does it better. What we want is your authenticity. What do you see? Because the Harry Wises are very technical. I can never beat a Harry Wise, car review. It's super technical. But maybe I see things, maybe I see the history in the car. Maybe I add that value. For myself, I love to shoot the car in slow motion and motion. I bring that value. And it's all these different points of view that will help to grow, right? So, what do you think about that?
Plus, sorry, yes, plus people being so strict on scale. What I mean is, there are so many people out there that say only 1 to 32 scale is the real slot car thing. Then there are others saying the same about HO or 1 to 24. And it's just, they're all slot cars. That means they're all fun to drive.
Yeah,
That's why if you look on my channel, I've got 32 cars, I've got HO, I've got 24. I don't care. Give me just pass me a trigger and a car, show me a track, and I'll go for it. I don't care.
yeah, exactly.
So yes, we need to get those narrow-minded guys out of the way, meaning either change their approach, their attitude. Otherwise, we can't get new guys to the track.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly, and I totally agree with that. I think there's, there's a lot of value to everyone that's been here before us. That I'll give everyone, like the Harrys, the Dave Kennedys, the Jim Cunninghams. They all bring so much value and so much history to the hobby, right? And we'll never be able to replicate
Yeah,
that. But as the new generation comes out, we find different ways to communicate that. And I think that's where I'm asking, and where Travis is asking everyone to call to action, is come out and tell us your experiences, because if we don't do that, we kind of alienate more people, right? And that's the
Yes.
difference.
Yes.
We're not asking you to
Yes. You're
create
absolutely.
the amazing content. Well, I don't know what you're gonna create, but that's the excitement part of it, right? It's, we want to see you for what you see in the hobby, not what we see in the hobby. Otherwise, it's gonna be boring, and everyone can, just watch one video and be done with it, right? Um,
Exactly, exactly. I just read from the fingers history. Good point. Yes, I also collect old vintage slot car chassis. No matter what scale, I just love to find those old parts and just go for it. Because there's a history in it. Somebody raced it, somebody liked it or disliked it and threw it away for a reason. But there's something behind it.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's like
and yeah,
picking up older cars, right? Like,
exactly.
it's the same thing.
Renovate them
Yeah.
is exactly the same thing. It's just a little smaller or a
Yeah.
little bigger. That's the whole difference. So
Yeah.
what's Travis with mag and
It
non-mag?
says the
You
mag
said
or no mag and scale debate
uh,
is part of old culture and needs to be changed. I
yes.
100% wholeheartedly agree. I recently bought a 4 lane Echo track, but the reason I bought it was I wanted to run cars vertically on a wall. And Echo is the perfect way to do it. Smaller track, I can put the track vertical, and my daughter makes these mini figures, mini buildings. They can go on there and create an art piece. But right now, that's what that's the whole thing. It's so weird. Like I was telling you, my first year in my journey was all about review cars. This year is all about creating art for me. It's creating this big track that's a work of art. It's creating the actual track that's a work of art. It's just making Slotcar art. It's weird, but it's cool and it's different, and that's what my whole journey is this year. It's like combining all my different hobbies, all my different skills, all my different friends, like bringing all my wargaming friends in. They don't know anything about slot cars. They dabble, but being able to let them showcase their talents in building and pull them all together to create this art piece. And it was amazing to see the amount of interest that they have in doing this. Even though they don't know slot cars, they don't really care for it. But the fact that they can combine their talents and bring it into this world to create this work of art is so intriguing to all of them in all different ways. So every single one of them is involved. I have so many messages every day about everyone wanting to be a part of it, right? So it's
This is also one of the main reasons why I'm so happy and so glad I can share this with you today, because I see that we have 100% the same idea and vision for what needs to be done. And like Travis, like all the other guys, like Massimo, like Marty, I think we all share the same basic idea and the same basic vision. We need to get it out there. And one of the best channels to do it at the moment is YouTube.
yes, 100%.
And there need to be more guys, not only you guys. There need to be more guys, and the more guys that share their experience, ideas, thoughts on slot cars, the more interest we can gather.
Yes, 100%. All right, Nicholas, time to put you on the
All right.
spot. You're going to showcase some of your cars and tell us a bit of stories. Yeah.
Yes, I got a few here with me.
Yeah.
Like there was a race night last night,
Okay.
uh, and as I explained before, we're doing, mainly IROC races at the moment, which means 4 cars stay in lane, and every driver has to drive each car in each lane, and we add up in the end. What we do mostly at the moment is Carrera cars,
Okay.
which means Carrera bodies, but we take the chassis out and put a nuts and bolts chassis underneath it. The
And
reason why, yeah,
what? So let's just start from the beginning. This chassis is one that's readily available, or you have to custom build it.
that's fully ready, available. Just taking it apart.
Oh, nice.
That's fully available. We put a Carrera standard motor in it, so the 18D, and you just need to glue the holders in. Sounds simple now, can be tricky, but getting very good results with that. And we put rubber tires on them so that they still slide. No magnets. Yes, that one's for you, Travis. No, just kidding. And whoever wants to build one of those cars builds it,
Okay.
brings it to the race evening, and we just draw 4 of them.
Okay.
If we've got 6, we just draw 4 of them. They will be driven, and that's it. And everybody can build this car. Everybody enjoys having those cars, and this is going on for years already. So there's no need to change anything. We just continue because the cars are there. People build new cars, people sell cars, people buy cars, but the system and the idea behind it is always the same.
Travis says those are fighting words.
Fighting words.
So let me ask you about that concept. So you draw 4 cars, you put each car in a lane, and then the drivers just rotate. Do you
Exactly.
find there's major differences in the cars? Like, tell me about that.
Very, very good question. Yes, there are big differences in the cars, but it doesn't matter because if you've got one car that performs really good and you've got another car that performs really bad, it doesn't matter. Every driver has to drive with a fast car and has to perform with a slow car.
All right.
So it doesn't matter whether you build a good car or a bad car or a slow car. It just doesn't matter. Everyone has to drive with a slow one and everyone has to drive with a fast one. So it all depends on the driving skills,
Yeah.
not
So
on the car.
I see this leading to a lot of nice discussion. At the end of the night, if you've driven a car or you've built a car and everyone's like, oh, your car's a little bit slower, or you feel it's slower than everyone else's, you can now walk up to that person and say, hey, listen, I got the same chassis, I got the same motor, I got everything the same. What's different? Or, and I can just see the conversation start from there. And that's a different way of standardization. You just standardize the game too in a very different way. And that's what I keep on saying is like the more we standardize, the more we can have discussions on how to get better as a whole. But the more we have variety, it gets very hard for everyone to kind of understand how to progress in the hobby. And that's what I'm trying to say about standardization.
Exactly. And we try to keep the rules as simple as possible, meaning one type of tires, same motor, same weight, total weight. That's it.
Right.
You don't even need to bring a controller because we support you with a controller. So you can come there without anything, no car, no controller, no nothing. You get everything supplied. You don't even need to pay for it. You just go there, drive it, have fun.
Yeah, 100%. So okay, so that's your first car. Let's see your
That's
next
my
one.
first car. I know that you're into RC, so that's why I dug this up. You remember that
Mini
one?
Z?
Oh, you know that one? Yeah, Mini Z,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Nice.
With a nuts and bolts chassis underneath it.
So does that use the standard Mini Z clip-on?
Nope. We
No?
just grind out the
Okay.
clip. It just does not focus too well. Yeah, we just grind it and glue the holders
Okay.
on the sides. And the chassis looks just very similar to the one I just showed you, just got a different motor on. And there's one additional thing. I don't know whether you can see that here. This one's got a suspension, and I don't want to start the discussion. I don't know.
No.
It's like a magnet and non-magnet discussion. Okay. Why do I need a suspension? What is it good for? It doesn't do any good. Forget about it. If you're a real techie, you'll go into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yes, that's a
So you were talking
1 to 28, as you know.
about, sorry,
Sorry.
I'm going to interject a little bit. Earlier, when we were talking offline, you talked about how you break in your mortars. So explain
Yes,
that to us.
this is this is a little secret. No, it's not a secret. I told you in like 10 years ago, there was a massive discussion in Germany how to break in your motor. You know what's coming, Ro.
Yes, I do.
And and in the end, there was a sentence to describe it the best way. It meant you need a full moon night,
Right.
you need an open grave, you need a cat that's alive, and you need a virgin. I don't want to continue anymore, but this is not how you run in a motor.
Yeah.
The way, sorry guys, the way I run in a motor is uh, 2 hours on 6 volts,
Okay.
1 hour on 9 volts. Don't forget to put a drop of oil on each side from time to time,
Yeah.
and
That's
you'll
it.
notice a difference. That's it.
Yeah.
No secrets, no funny things, no funny fluids, no putting it into WD-40, distilled water. I don't know what else. Forget
Yeah.
about it.
So
Try it.
So I had the similar experience that you had. That was what happened was I remember one of the earlier live streams, one of the first live streams, we talked about mortar break-ins, and right after that, I decided to break in a mortar in a vat of WD-40. I ran it at 3 volts for 12 hours. The color changed, and I was like, "Oh, I broke in a mortar." Put it back into the car. Went to Scale Racing Center, ran it on the track, and well, oh my god, I had no torque. The car was sluggish. It wouldn't come out of the corners fast enough. I was like, and I went to Ernie. I was like, what happened? Like, what did I do wrong? And he's like, you tuned the motor. He's like, we don't break in motors. You don't need to break in motors. He's like, break the motor in on the track. Let it do itself naturally. He said 9 times out of 10, can motors will break in by themselves naturally. You don't have to force the motion. And he's like, also understand that when you race long tracks, then you'll break the motor in to do certain things. It's like, but for what we're doing, you don't really need it. So it's like sometimes less is more. That's what he said to me. He says, just enjoy the car, break in the motor on the track and enjoy it. And I think that's the same thing you're saying here, right?
Exactly. The HO guys say, well, you just need to run in your motor for like 5 minutes and do the braking on the track because that's the best way to break it in.
Yeah,
Uh, I do agree. It's just my experience. And sorry, that's only my experience. It doesn't mean that
exactly.
it's 100% right. That's my experience
Well,
with 6 volts, 9 volts.
yeah.
It works
I mean,
really well.
Slotcar guy or Travis saying that his RC motors love water. So, exactly. Everyone's going to get a different experience. Everyone
Exactly.
drives differently. See, for me, I like that jump off the line. So when I lost the jump off the line, I was very upset. But some people don't like to jump off the line. They want to have a little bit more control.
That's
Everyone's unique. Yeah,
exactly. That's what we discussed offline before as well. If I set up a car which is perfect, means perfect handling for me, and I hand it over to you, you will put it on the track and go like, "What the hell is this?"
yeah,
Everyone's different, and everyone likes to have the behavior of his car different.
yeah,
It's like setting your controller the right way. If you've got um, a brake adjustment and a throttle adjustment, you will drive the same car in a different style and way that I do
yeah,
naturally. Very simple.
exactly. So keeping it simple is, I think, a big thing to take away as well. When you start, keep it simple. Do the simple things. Change your tires, true your tires. Just get into the car and stay. One thing that I really regret over buying a lot of cars is I've never really taken one car, taken it all the way to the end. I always change my cars up. So recently, I just told you like my next series of videos is just about one car and experiencing the whole car all the way to the top, my top. It won't even be close to a Jim Cunningham's top or anyone else's. It's my top, what I can achieve, And as long as I can do that, I'll be happy. And that's the key. I like keep it fun, keep it happy for myself, and experience the hobby for myself, and share it with you guys. And that's what I'm intend to do moving forward. Let's see.
Want to see one more?
Yeah. No, I don't want to see one more. I want to see the F1 cars. I'm pretty sure MPs.
Unfortunately, I haven't got the F1 with me.
Oh,
if I would have known, because it's in my basement.
No problem.
But okay, I guess just for Massimo, I'll do an extra video just showing details of the F1 car.
Perfect. We all want that, not just from Massimo.
Okay. So here is your hated cars, so to say, or class. That's a scale out of 1 to 24.
It's not hated. I love my scale autos.
the Corvette.
Yeah.
White kit with the simple 8000 chassis.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure you guys know the inside.
Yeah. Do you collect a lot of 132s or just mostly 124?
Mostly 124, but as I got into HO, I'm collecting a lot of HO. Yes, Travis, I know that's me. Because he was just astonished to see all my HO cars. And I do still collect a few 1 to 32. I just recently bought a Thunder Slot, and I was completely impressed on their chassis. I do have an NSRs, and I do have slotted.
Which Thunder Slot did you get?
I got the Alva.
Yeah. I got the Lola. I couldn't get my hands on the Alva, but yeah, they're amazing. Like, I haven't run this one yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
I haven't run mine as well. I just adjusted the height of the guide and the front tires and the front axle, and just did the standard, tweaking.
Yeah.
So the slot scale auto.
Yeah.
Chassis. We just changed one thing, which is this black part here. We call it the H.
Okay.
Because the original one is made of aluminium and it tends to bend.
Okay.
And we've got a guy that did it out of carbon, so we can buy it from him.
Nice.
And drives really well.
Yeah, Marty's number one car is the Thunder Slot Elva right now.
Okay.
But he hasn't got his hands on the Shadow. We'll see. Maybe the Shadow will take over.
The Shadow is
the Shadow is taking over the whole internet, so you never know.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And maybe one more thing. You were talking about controllers, and you were talking about why do I have to drive it with a thumb? So this is a standard controller, electronic one, but still a standard one.
Yeah.
Most of the people would drive it like this.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
I'm an old school Carrera guy. I drive it like this.
And you use the top to lane change? Oh, you don't do lane changes.
We don't do lane changes,
right.
But that's the way I drive my controllers.
Yeah,
and I can still kick some asses. So you see,
that's priceless.
Coming from the old days,
yeah,
I'm used to Carrera controllers.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for showing us some of your cars.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else you want to add to this discussion? Talk about? Let me know.
I think we could talk on for days or discuss this like for days. I hope everyone liked it, enjoyed it. It was very pleasant to talk to you, to discuss the topics with you, because I'm more than 100% confident that we do share the same ideas.
I think there's a lot of us that share the same ideas. It's not just me. What I'm discovering is there's a lot of us that want to do so much for this hobby because we get so much out of it. And I think what's drawing us together is the fact that we want to do more and we're all trying to do more. And I think the more we come together, it helps us all keep the momentum up. So I'm
Definitely.
really happy we had this discussion. It was awesome. We've talked a lot on typing, but it's nice to just talk. So I'm gonna open it up to the chat. If you guys have any questions for Nicholas, just please put them in the chat right now. Um, Otherwise, we'll give another 5 minutes, then we'll wrap this up. Yes, the fingers, all about the love. The fingers all been about the love these days, and I appreciate it. Um, yeah, getting more ideas every day. Yep, I totally agree.
So do I.
Yeah, let's see. Anyone have any questions for Nicholas? Nicholas, where can they find you? I know that you're Slotcar Dude on YouTube. Are you on
Exactly.
Facebook?
Hang on for a second. There is a Facebook page called That's
Yeah.
Our Club. We've got a
Okay.
Facebook page where you can find us. There is my email address is on YouTube in the general description of my channel.
Okay.
So whenever you have any questions, suggestions, go ahead, write
Yeah.
a few lines. If you're in the area of Salzburg, Austria, and you want to go for a real good Carrera track ride, drop me a line, like Travis did.
Yeah.
He even moved here now, so it was good for something.
So, do any of you know if you have to do anything special to have YouTube auto translate your closed caption videos to any language? I'm pretty sure it's just a setting in the back end of YouTube. YouTube does it automatically. We don't really, at least I
think
don't know
there's
how
a
to set that up.
I think there's a button that you can
Yeah,
press
yeah,
to have it translated and sublined. Yeah.
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 That's basically all you can do, and then YouTube takes over and does it. Hope that
Steve,
answers.
servus.
Jim is running a slot car track at Grand Prix of Miami. Yes, he is totally. He told us about it. Yeah. Any other questions? Let us know. So, do you race every week or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we try to meet every week on a different track. We've got 6 to 8 tracks in the area. So we try to get to another track each
So it's
week.
pretty robust. 6 to 8 tracks is a lot of tracks.
Plus, we can change the direction of the tracks, which means we've got one track set up, but actually 2 tracks to race on because they drive completely differently.
Yeah, so there you go. Closed captioning and then pick options to pick language. There you go.
Yeah.
Slot journal.
Well, most of my videos are in English anyway. I already get complaints about from the German-speaking community. So I do some videos in both languages each.
Yeah.
Some videos, or most of my videos, are in English at the moment because I get most questions out of the English-speaking community. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think that's it. So we're gonna wrap up. Thank you so much once again for doing this. It was a lot of fun. A couple of things. You can find Nicholas at Slotcar Dude. Once again, if you haven't subscribed, please go hit the subscribe button on his channel. He does awesome content. If you're into F1 124, he's doing some crazy cool stuff with that. I'm just gonna bring back me here. So the one other thing is Monday is our live stream. So don't forget, and we are doing the giveaway. So this Di Tommaso, it's not as cool as the Shadow, unfortunately, but we are giving away a Carrera car. Maybe you can get a metal chassis from Germany, and we can start doing what they're doing out there. Yes, Nicholas, we're gonna come and we're gonna have some fun.
Anytime.
Yeah, for sure. I do come to Europe every year. I do go to Barcelona, or every other year. Sorry, my family's in Barcelona, but maybe I'll make a trip up and I can race on one of your tracks and see what's up. So, 100%.
Anytime.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. I want to thank everyone in the chat for showing up. We had 316 comments. Amazing. We've had a lot of people say a lot of nice things, and I really appreciate that. Nicholas, continue doing what you're doing out there, man, and kick Travis's butt. And then, we'll stay in touch. And thank you so much for
Definitely.
doing this. Guys, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for hanging out with us on a Saturday afternoon. And
Thank you,
we
guys.
will be back on Monday night for a live stream. And Nicholas, once again, thank you so much. Take care, guys.
Thank you,
And
Rahul. Take care.
all right, buddy. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.